bored. Ground under my feet isn't boring. I don't notice it though very often.
Okay, first question, are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
What made you first want to play music?
I was taping. It's kind of vague. It was so long ago. I started playing the trumpet when I was in 3rd grade. It was to get out of class. And then it kind of stuck. You know, by the time I got to about 7th grade, I was a real nerd. Trying to figure out some way to gain acceptance of my peers. And since I couldn't be strong and tough and boss people around, I started learning how to play the guitar, which was ill-fated because it didn't really succeed in making me very cool. But I stuck with it because I liked it.
When did you start guitar?
That was like 7th grade. That's 12. Actually, it's 12.
Okay, then did you go to school for music? I heard something about that.
Yeah. In high school, actually, I had a few music classes, and I had this, just by chance, this fucking amazing teacher who would, even during the summers, set time aside and like just playing jazz combos with me and a couple other guys. I think you shut that door. So in addition to learning, like, getting a head start on the music theory that you would learn in college and stuff like that, we also had hours and hours of experience playing in like a jazz sort of combo environment. Like a couple summers straight of doing that shit with this guy who could really play. It was really great. So he taught us like lots of jazz chord theory, and on top of that, we had Trevor and I had a music theory class also.
And that was in high school?
Yeah. So, but then we got to college and we did the college music thing. It's kind of different. It's kind of ridiculous.
Where did you do that?
At Humboldt State University.
And you didn't like it?
Well, I didn't finish. I was like a little ways away from finishing, and then the band was going to make it for our first record. Decided just to move. I liked it fine. By the time everything we'd been learning was like pretty much, pretty straight stuff aside from the jazz stuff, and finally got into what I really wanted to pursue, which was 20th century composition and stuff, like 20th century classical music, and had a really, really good class in that. Had some good ear training teachers, of drill sergeants and stuff. And that was pretty much the extent of it. I I didn't take classes on the guitar. I never really learned how to play an instrument. Yeah. So all of my personal training.
So it was separate from an instrument?
Yes, theory. Everything I learned is pretty much either theory or ear training based. Trevor's a different story. He learned his A's. Yeah.
That's why you play a bunch of different stuff?
Yeah, because I'm not competent in any one thing.
Okay. What other musicians that remain that influence you the most? Or albums?
Let's see. Well, I could just start at the beginning and say Diva was the first thing I ever, it was the first tape I ever had, and it's the only thing that I've consistently liked my entire life. But, I mean, that was a long time ago. It's like Sick Van Halen. The things that like, I don't know, 20th century composition with new composers, that would be number one on the, consistently what I'm musically obsessed with is. Yeah, I mean, do you want me to like name names on and stuff like that?
If you could.
Well, I was really blown away, say, years ago when I first heard Ligeti's Requiem piece. You might have heard it because it was used in 2001 when the people are standing outside and staring at the mop. There's all this poisonous going bizarre.
That's what it is.
It's an excerpt from that piece. It is his use of like microtonality. And just weird. It's like between a B and a C. There's notes that you can't hit on a piano. Yeah. He uses like a system that allows for exact quarter tones, things like that. So he kind of created his own musical landscape with microtonality. He wasn't the first to do it, wasn't the last to do it, but he used it so poetically and effectively. Fucking, blew me over when I first heard it. So that, that's a good starting place.
I had a really big problem with tuning a while back, like trying to figure out all the, how they're not exact intervals and all that.
Yeah, it's really weird. You can't
Like
hear
in
it.
tune to fifths and then it's not in tune in fourths,
Right.
thirds.
Yeah, because
That screwed me up really bad for a while.
the equal tempered scale's not exact with the harmonic series. There's no way to really do it.
But does that other guy do it? Or
Well, no, he still uses the Western 12-tone system, and then he goes into micro
okay.
between those. So no, he's not using harmonic series necessarily.
I want to try doing that somehow.
There are composers who have done that. Definitely.
Do you know of any?
Well, anybody who does, mostly, man, it's like things really bad shit like New Age shit, where there's wind and stuff. I mean, all of those things are fundamental tones, and then splitting divisions of the harmonic set on top of that, either whether it's a wind tone or whistling or something to do so. So usually it's pretty bad, actually, but out of the best use of I've ever heard is these throat singers from Tuba, which is near the Mongolia. But it's not Mongolia. These farmer vocalists from Tuba who are absolute experts. Not so much perfect tuning, but they can split the harmonic series with their voice and do it in this way that, it's a lot different than like the Buddhist monks or whatever. It's more, I don't know. It's a gut level singing. It's this amazing vocal style.
I think I've heard that.
It's really nice stuff.
It sounded like somebody burping. Is that it?
Okay, no, that's the Tibetan Buddhists. It's either that.
It's a kind of throat singer, it's called.
Okay. Well, it could be too a throat singer. They don't sound like they're burping. There's also the Eskimo chant. And they're going like that.
Just not like,
It's more like the real deep one. Yeah, that would probably be the Tibetan fuckers.
Okay, so when you come up with your music that you write, like on instrumental albums, do you make up stuff on an instrument? Or
Yeah.
Most of the time?
All the time, pretty much.
Because, like when I come up with stuff, I'll come up with like maybe 3 chords I like, or a riff. Like, does that, you just start playing something and you like it and you twist it, or do you actually come up with it totally from nothing?
It's more. There are, like, just for an example, like in the techno ala, there's a riff that's going dun 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 dun. That's a riff, And then riffs get layered on top of riffs. What usually happens is that, just by coincidence, a great number of quote riffs that we've made up, or one of us has made up with stacks as high as foot tapes. All the years that we've been playing together, you come up with something, and then maybe a week down the road, you'll realize it fits perfectly with this other one that you can layer it with, and then you can use one of those riffs on top of this one, and then on top of this one too, to give a sense of continuity. So it's sort of like multiple riff stacking. I think it stops kind of being riff oriented, and becomes more like a superimposition, like superimposing different elements kind of stuff. So it's kind of a long process. It takes a while to finish a song, because then you have a set of riffs that all work together that you can stack on top of each other, but you haven't made music yet. You haven't arranged it into a structure that makes any sense. So then that's like probably the major time-consuming part.
I notice you use tritones a lot.
Really?
Yeah. Like when instead of playing a power chord, I think it sounds sometimes like you're playing tritone. You know what I mean?
On the first record, I'd say it's a little more true than it is on this one. Yeah, definitely. It's definitely true on the first record. Usually it's also like more than just one tritone too. One of the favorite chords we were using a few years ago was the tritone here, and then half step down but an octave up. So it's like a tritone and then a seventh and another tritone.
And the tritone made stuff.
It's like it would be if you doubled the same tritone.
Flat 7.
Actually, wouldn't be a flat 7. If you want to get technical about it, it would be a. How would you describe that? It would be a 1 flat 5 7, so 4. So it'd be, was that 11? 11. suspended 4, I guess. So it'd be a 1 flat 5/7 suspended 4. It makes no sense. All it is a tritone, and then the same tritone up an octave, and it would just drop down a half step on top.
Okay.
We used that a lot on the first record for whatever the reason. Just trying to hide from playing bar chords. I just
How much time do you spend on coming up with stuff? Like on tour, you probably don't have a lot of time.
Yeah,
Trey.
we're just trying to work up new material every night. Different cover songs we want to do. Spend eons making these goods.
Like when you're not. What do you do when you're out playing in Mr. Room?
Working on the just vast range of other musical projects, but a lot of the time I work on Mr. Bungle too, because we have to be prepared. You know, we can't just go into the studio. There's a lot of preparation that goes into it, like, and everybody also has to agree on the arrangements. So we work together a lot on getting it all shaped, and a lot of time, like, somebody won't have an idea of what instrument should play in this thing or whatever. So then I'll have to spend a lot of time on programming synthesizer voice or finding an ordering voice and just voicing chords.
Did you do a bunch of sequencing?
No,
No?
none at all.
Just playing? I mean, when you're writing.
Writing, sometimes I use a sequencer a little bit, yeah. Like when we come out, I suppose you can actually tell that that was written on a sequencer because it's a still 4-bar chime.
Sound a little bit.
Yeah. But in the recording, you know, it's, I just teach it to the rhythm section. They don't even have to know exactly what's going to happen with the rest of the song as long as we get the drums and the bass ticket, and then I can go back.
So if you come up with something and you show it to them and they'll play, are they pretty easygoing about it?
Yeah, well, it's in 2 stages usually. It's the first stage is having the 4-track recording of it that's, you know, semi near what it should sound like. Second stage is teaching them the rhythm section parts, and then of course there's so much to remember. There's no way they're going to remember everything that was going on in the song at that time. So you just kind of have to keep beating on, telling people exactly what it is. Then after that,
Y'all get loose, right?
oh yeah, great. Then after that, you just go back. I'll go back and then overdub everything on top of it. So if they're, like, say, Danny, drummer would be maybe going, you know, not too excited about how it sounds because it's just drums and bass and it's just a stupid vamp. After like 2 days, I'll go back and record all the keyboard parts that makes more sense. And he's like, oh, okay, that's what that's supposed to be. And then we start really gelling as a band.
Do you guys cut up the songs between you, like when you come up with something, you know, you get.
It's a matter of ideas. Like whoever has the ideas, who is the person who's responsible for bringing it to the band and rehearsing that band.
It's pretty rare though that you get that many people together to play that type of music.
Yeah, it's actually never. It's me and Trevor and Danny and Mike when he's around, getting together, working that stuff out, and then Bear when he can be around too. Bear's getting more into writing music too, so which is really good. There's a lot of people writing music.
So you all get along good and everything?
Yeah.
Really long time.
If there are some aspects where we don't get along together, we know how to deal with it.
Oh yeah, your keyboards. What keyboards do you have up there? And you have 2 Yamahas?
Yeah, the Yamahas we don't really use the sounds on. We just use it to trigger the sampler.
I have the exact keyboard up there.
The PSR. That's the fucking greatest thing. Do you like that thing?
Yeah, it was good for the price to start out because something like that
Absolutely.
had a good piano sound.
I think just all around, man, the background patterns that it has for writing pop songs is the greatest. You can just churn out like, you know, Neil Diamond quality music. The snap of a finger, it's really good. I've come up with some really nice stuff that I read. I'm like, oh, that
And now, do we have time to go into more other types of questions?
Sure.
Okay.
I haven't even really begun this, so.
Disco Volante questions.
Okay. Good.
How much did that cost you guys to do that?
Final figure. I'm not really exactly sure, but I know it was less than 100,000 and more than 80,000.
How does the record company work? How does that fit into that? How do they
How do you get money to do it?
Yeah.
Well, you're budgeted a certain amount of money.
They lend it to you? Is that what it is?
Exactly.
Okay.
They pay. How it works is you get, say, whatever, 12% royalties off of each unit that's sold. If they lend you, say, $120,000, they'll pay themselves back that exact amount.
And you don't get anything until then?
Out of your 12%, not out of the whole profits of the record. They pay them. They're making a profit while the record sells, and then paying themselves back out of your royalties. Then after you paid that back out of your royalties, then you start getting money. That's why it takes so long to get paid, and that's why so many bands don't get paid. Because it seems like, maybe in the beginning, wow, all this money, we could have this huge record and, spend all this fucking money on it. Up shit creek, you'll never get paid.
Did you guys spend, how much did you spend compared to the last one?
Less.
A lot less?
A little bit less. The next one we'll spend a lot less on, because we did this ADAC syncing this time where we could actually work on some of it at home, but we still ended up doing vocal comps and vocal shit and a lot of keyboard stuff in the studio. It's very time consuming, so that ran the price up. But now, since then, we've bought all of the organs that we use on the record with the leftover budget money that we had from this record. So we have all of that stuff at our disposal. And I run like a small recording studio where we can record it. So it'll be the same quality recording stuff. Spend dick on it. What do you do? Yeah, I'm doing one right now. Yeah, we can do it. This is gonna get or something. What's that? Front. I'll go get something. Just I gotta my shoes and all that.
Do you plan on staying with Warner Bros?
It's a good question.
Have you thought about doing it independently?
Yeah, we'd love to. We'd love to. It's hard. We have good distribution, man. That's the main thing. Is probably do it. Yeah, it's really nice to reach. I mean, the record gets to the most bumfuck places in the world, and there are a lot of people who hear it, and I guess the feeling they don't have the chance to hear very much else. The people who are kind of starving for, you know what I'm talking about?
I know what that's like.
Yeah, so do I. And I feel like there's zillions of great record companies in the world that are independents, but the distribution is one thing. We've really, I'm kind of playing half devil's advocate here, because we all kind of would rather be doing it on the level that's more proper to us, because the record company has no promotion for us, doesn't do anything. But I got to back off and say I'm really glad that they don't care about us, because if they did, then we'd have to start working for them. If they promoted it, then we would owe them. The record company. So we're in a kind of a good situation. We get enough money to put out our fucking records. They don't care what we do on the record. We don't get censored at all. They put it out, distribute it around the world, and they don't expect anything from us. It's kind of a good situation. I don't know how long it'll last, and if it changes, then yeah, we'll definitely start shopping around and seeing what else is available. I mean, I do other more underground records per, like independent releases, so we definitely have some options there. But as far as the time being, it's a pretty good situation. Can't complain too much. Got some complaints about the artwork area, but and just general, we'd love to do the main thing. Here's the main things we'd love to do, more interesting packaging and stuff.
Yeah.
And believe me, we tried to do a lot on this record, and we did a bit, but we had a lot of bigger ideas.
All the different versions were different records.
Yeah. But I mean, we'd love to go way further on it, and every deviation you do out of standard is money coming straight out of the pocket. Pay for it, and unless you're. I mean, I get the feeling that it's only because there's nobody who really cares about it. If there was some A&R person that really grabbed the torch on it, we could probably do it for, without having to pay for it. But there's nobody there willing to do it, so we end up having to be on the phone seriously for 3 months straight to get anything even remotely different to happen. It's pretty nerve-wracking.
Is it sort of like you break even on it, or is it that it is?
Last record I think we made something like $8,000 each, so that's pretty good. Not rich, no, but it's better than nothing. I'm happy with him. On the tours, we do pretty all right. It seems like the shows are pretty well attended. We don't have like final tallies. You can't tell until the end of it, but
I noticed a lot of people really liked it when you were playing at those other shows.
The shows or whatever.
Yeah, everybody was saying that they hadn't had an interesting band come through in a long time.
It seems to be a weird time in music where there's nothing interesting going on at all, you know? I think we're getting the benefit of that, you know? People are really sick of fucking music, as I am. So I get the feeling there's people who probably wouldn't even like us normally, but they're just so sick of everything else in the fucking world that they'll go and probably have a good time just because it's different. I'm happy to see that there's at least a few people who are really into the music and really understand, you know, or at least attempt to like hear the music rather than project all this goddamn bullshit on top of it. It's better than it was last time for that. It's kind of nice.
What was Heifetz?
Yeah.
Why did it say I quit in there? What was that joke about?
What
is that?
Well, he's the one who was doing most of the artwork fiasco stuff. He was on the phone like 9 hours a day for 3 months. He was so frustrated. There were all these horrible things were going on with the artwork, and
yeah,
he was just being funny.
Okay.
He didn't play.
I just wondered what it meant.
He was just stressed. It came down to the point where we were literally sitting in front of a computer, like typing up the names. It's like, you know, what do you want to be called? How do you want to phrase your name? And I gave him mine first, and then it just kind of followed through. They just did it for foods.
That one, what was his name? The other saxophone player besides Theo?
Bear.
Sorry. Did he play drums on the album? Been on that song?
Yeah. You can tell he hits a lot harder than Danny does.
Didn't he switch cymbals or something in the song?
Danny or Bear?
Bear, cymbals.
Yeah, they're constantly switching cymbals.
He used that, I don't know.
China Boy thing?
It was a lead sound cymbal.
Yeah, Danny's got some pretty cool sounding stuff. I haven't even really checked out what he's even brought on tour. He's got so many fucking cymbals back home. Millions, literal millions.
How many people do you have going around with you on tour?
12 altogether. 7 band members. Like there's the one extra, Willie, the percussionist, who we're bringing for the tour, and that.
You're not gonna have him in the band as a member or anything?
No. I mean, we haven't really. He's a hired gun.
That's it.
He's got a job and everything. He's a teacher in his college. He's got a bunch of gay shits he does.
Why didn't you go to Florida?
That's a good question.
Darn it.
Yeah, pretty bad. Well, are you guys from?
Yeah, Florida.
That's right. Where are you from in Florida?
Below Tampa.
Really? Tampa would be fun to go to. We didn't like playing in Hollandale, like driving all the way down.
Hollandale?
We played a hop in Hollandale by Miami.
You did?
Last.
Did you also play in Tampa though?
We played in Tampa.
Okay.
Tampa was cool.
To see it that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was like 3 years ago too. Tampa was a cool show. I liked that. The town and the people. It was really fucking crazy. But Hollandale just left us kind of a really bad taste in our mouths, and we got pulled over as soon as we went across the border. You know, it was a bad scene. We got fucked.
You ever been to Total Creek that well?
We had a certain amount of days to do the entire United States. Florida is one of the places that got gypped. Spruance all there is to it. We probably should have played. I mean, now in retrospect, it seems like we probably should have played 2 shows around the Georgia and Atlanta areas because there were so many people who had to drive so far. I mean, I wasn't gonna miss it. I talked to people there last night who were from Nashville.
There's 300 ticket spots for that thing.
Yeah, but how are people going to find out about a show in Athens, fucking Georgia? Yeah, see, it's a miracle. Let's think of all the people who didn't hear about it.
The only reason I got the internet is to find out about Mr. Bungle.
That's the only reason.
Wow, too bad none of us are on the internet.
Tolerable.
The Forba, yeah.
That's the only thing I do on there.
Really?
Look on Volante.
Really? I've seen the Volante page a couple of times. See, some of it seems a little screwy to me because the association with Bacon more noisy is a little bit.
Yeah.
Those guys, but I mean, it's nice that they do it. Glad that they're putting their efforts into it. For all its flaws, at least they're doing it. It's fine.
Now about the lyrics on the debut. Who wrote most of that stuff?
On the debut and first record?
Yeah.
I can't remember. Let's see.
Because the style of the lyrics is completely different between the two albums, and it is.
Yeah, Mike wrote more of them on the first record.
Yeah.
He wrote like Travolta, Excuse Me If Baroni, Trails of Porn, the smash hits that you just keep screaming for. Trevor wrote like I don't know, like Slowly Growing Death and Bugs of This. So those were different times. Yeah. Yeah, we listed everything on this record. That's a change too.
What's your name?
Who wrote what?
Probably did.
Yeah, I thought it was necessary to like all the confusion that it created last time. And anonymity is great and fine and all that, but when other people are taking credit for things that you did, it kind of can be a little annoying. Some kind of set the record straight on some of that.
I noticed that most of the lyrics are not in English.
No. You noticed that?
Yeah.
Yeah, the Italian ones are ones that Mike wrote, because he's pretty good at Italian.
It sounds like the Mos Eisley band and Star Wars.
Oh, that
Max
you're
Rico
talking about
band.
the Mimishka mouse chords. That's a made-up language. Yeah, I guess that's not English either, but it's just this guttural. I don't know what kind of language it is. It's interesting that you associate it with the cantina, the outer space, big band thing. Yeah, that's so itches. Yeah, I guess there's a few. What are the other languages on there besides Arabic?
Italian.
It's just Italian and the made-up one. And that's it. Wow. Yeah.
There's not French on there?
There's no French. No German. There's no Spanish or Portuguese either. Good. Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember whether we're printing lyric sheets. That's what's part of what people will get when they sent in that $2 thing. I did that. Part of what will be in that is lyric sheets of some of the made-up words and enunciations and things. I don't know if we're going to do any translations, probably not. But there's a bunch of other shit that comes in that too.
I knew a girl from Italy, and I asked her to translate some of that stuff.
Oh, yeah?
It didn't make a lot of sense.
What, do our lyrics make sense normally? Or what about the rest of it?
Yeah.
Really? Like Mary?
Well,
I like to be read straight down. Somebody could explain it to you in another language.
And I mean, she was just saying things like, it was like random little bits like,
Yeah.
hey, listen here, or something.
Yeah, listen.
Something else.
Yeah, that's mostly what it is. Well, the whole thing's conjuring up a scene of domestic dispute.
Yeah.
So,
Well, she was pretty confused about it. She was saying it made no sense. I don't know if it did or not.
linearly, it's not, it's the music itself is somewhat non-linear also, because it's in sliced up bits. It's not like we wrote the music to a piece of poetry or verse or something like that. And but I think the use of the like the grammatical things are correct on it. I mean, it might be in a cut up or whatever unconventional style, but there's no. I don't think there are any errors because, well, Mike's wife is Italian, so if she can correct his errors. He might have pronounced some things maybe a little bit off.
Well, she's a confused person. Oh, I could do that. Yeah, the girl over from
You can't expect them to be able to figure that. You know.
Oh yeah, you were talking about another album. Your next thing.
Yeah.
What plan do you have for that?
Well, we got a good bit of it recorded already.
Yeah.
Yeah, like probably about 15 minutes. I think there's 30 minutes altogether, but 15 minutes, and that will definitely be on the next record.
When are you planning on releasing that?
Well,
A long time.
no, not like 4 years like last time. Since we recorded that much just because we wanted to avoid fucking wasting all that time again. So, just a matter of getting some more music together. We pretty much know what we're gonna do for the next record, so it's a matter of probably booking some studio time, probably in late summer, I would guess. This coming up year, we have another record out by March of '97 or something. I don't know. Can't really tell.
Well, I guess that's it.
Okay.
I guess that's about all the questions I have. That's all.